Coming up next, we have Stacy Riley, the Assistant State Conservationist for Programs with NRCS, and she's here today to visit with us about the CSP and the EQIP rules. Stacy, I'll just turn it over to you and let you go.
All right, thanks, Larry. As soon as I can be able to share my screen, I will. Can you give me that permission, Miss Blaney? If not, I'll wing it. You know, I'm good at that, guys.
Oh, I'll make you the host, Stacy Riley.
Oh, thanks so much.
You should be the host now.
All right, I am pushing a button to share the screen, so someone will let me know when they can see it. All right, thank you, guys. So the first slide is just, I'm not sure that we talked about this last year at the OECD meeting, but in NRCS, we changed our mission and vision in the last year and a half. I can't really remember. My days are starting to run together. And so this is just a screen with our new mission. Our new mission is we deliver conservation solutions so agriculture producers can protect natural resources and feed a growing world. But what I'm going to talk to you guys today about is a little bit about the 2018 Farmville final rules. As you guys know, the new Farm Bill, the 2018 Farm Bill was signed in December of 2018. And then we've been in the process since that time of publishing our final rules in the Federal Register so that we can implement those. So I'm going to go over today are 3 of the final rules that have been published in just recently. And they're the ones that have the biggest impact to the customers, our external customers in Oklahoma. So I'm going to talk about the Conservation Stewardship Program, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, and then the Agriculture Conservation Easement Program. And I'm just going to kind of hit these real fast and dirty, but obviously you guys can know how to find me, I think. And if you don't, I'm sure someone you know does know how to get a hold of me if you want more information about these rules later. But I'm just going to do a real high cut. So the first one I'm going to discuss is the Conservation Stewardship Program. And the slide on your screen tells the official definition in the Federal Register of what the Conservation Stewardship Program's purpose is. The purpose of this program is to encourage producers to address priority resource concerns and improve and conserve the quality and condition of the natural resources in a comprehensive manner by undertaking additional conservation activities and improving, maintaining, and managing conservation activities. So that's the official purpose. So with the new 2018 Farm Bill, this program was changed. Conservation Stewardship Program was originally started in the 2014 Farm Bill as this name. Some of you may remember it was formerly the Conservation Stewardship or Securities Program, but in 2014 Farm Bill, it officially became the Stewardship Program. But basically, this is the kind of general stuff. The CSP program, as we like to call it, it is a continuous sign up. It's offered in all 50 states and territories. It's no longer, it's not just certain areas, certain watersheds. It's available for anybody and everybody. In 21, fiscal year 21, we'll make available about $750 million nationwide for this program. And it'll be split about 60 to 40% for the classic, and then also for renewals, as well as for the Grassland Conservation Initiative, which is a new program that was started in Farm Bill 2018. It also allows you the opportunity to apply for renewal during the first half of the 5-year contract. Some of the major changes with the Conservation Stewardship Program, I already kind of gave you a prerequisite to that, and it's not even on here, but the new Farm Bill does have the Grassland Conservation Initiative Program, and we've already written, I think, 3 different signups for that. That is a targeted sign up. You have to meet certain criteria for that program, so it's not an open to the public, so to speak, program. But what is open to the public is the conservation stewardship in general, and these are on the screen are the highlighted changes to that program for 2018 with the final rule being published just recently. One of the big changes is that states now must identify 8 priority resource concerns instead of 5. And it also changes the way that we make payments. Historically, we always allowed our customer to choose whether they wanted their payment in one calendar year or the other. Now they don't have an option. They must be paid between October and December. So that's definitely different than it was previously. Okay, so the Environmental Qualities Incentives Program. Many of you have heard of EQIP. It's been around since 1996, and that was when it originally showed up in the Farmville, and we've been tweaking it and changing it ever since. The definition is on the screen. I'm not going to read that to you. It's fairly lengthy, but the Environmental Quality Incentive Program has been around a long time, and in the state of Oklahoma, we have spent millions and millions of dollars helping our farmers and ranchers through this program. So it is definitely a very well received and program that has been very beneficial to the state of Oklahoma. So definitely glad it's still sticking around. So some of the highlighted changes to the program that came about in 2018, that we clarified that we can now accept applications from water management entities to assist with water conservation projects, and it helps us with determining their eligibility and the waivers that are in process before. Before, those groups were ineligible to participate, and now we can actually work with them. One of the other changes that is actually fairly significant and can impact us quite greatly is that now the policy allows us to address new or expected resource concerns that are likely to develop over the lifespan of that contract. That's something that's new. Traditionally, this program, we could only contract items and evaluate items that were already a known resource concern or an existing resource concern. So this helps us in preparation to make sure that we don't negatively impact something without addressing that as well. Probably one of the most significant changes to the Environmental Quality Incentive Program for 2018 Farm Bill are the next two items. We have two things that have been added to the program. The one is that we can identify high priority practices that can be higher incentivized, meaning we can make a higher cost payment to those. That is basically allows us to, if we have a particular practice that is that needs to be done in a priority area, or is a practice that is a very high impact environmental benefit, but we have a hard time selling that practice to our customer, this gives us a chance to incentivize that practice and make it maybe a little more attractive to one of our customers. And so for us, for instance, one of the ones that always comes up is prescribed burning in the state of Oklahoma, a very high impact practice, but not real well utilized across the state of Oklahoma. So that's one that maybe we can try to influence people to utilize that good conservation practice a little more often. That's just one example. The other one is the conservation incentives contracts. This is a brand new opportunity. We have not started that in the nation, but it will be implemented in 2021. We are still receiving all the final guidance and direction on that. We have intentions to meet with the state technical committee to discuss what we think will be our designated high priority areas for their input, and then what practices and resource concerns that we want to treat with that. But it's kind of like, I call it a morph program. It's kind of a mix between EQIP and CSP, because it is, we do practices, but then we also make annual payments for up to 5 to 10 years in contract length. I had a friend the other day describe it as kind of like an Oreo. EQIP is the top layer, CSP is the bottom layer, and this is the cream in the middle. It's on the right in between the both, because you don't have to sign up your whole farm. You can just sign up 1 or 2 tracts of land, and or 1 land use even. Where with CSP, it's your entire operation. So that's coming down the road. Still learning on that, still coming. So now I'm going to move into the Agriculture Conservation Easement Program. This is a program that covers actually several different types of easements, all easements, but several different types of things that we do within the agency. The purpose of this particular program is to provide assistance to landowners to help them conserve and protect agricultural lands and wetlands by directly acquiring or assisting the purchase of conservation easement on private or tribal land. For this program, it's basically broken down into two types of easements. One is the agriculture land easements, and the other is a wetland reserve easement. And each one of those has different criteria and activities that are involved with it. I'm just going to highlight a few of those. Here is the purpose, and it basically, this breaks it down by what is ALE, agriculture land easements, and what's WRE. The ALE is something that it must be a sponsoring entity. NRCS does not directly contract or buy easements from landowners. We work with a sponsoring entity to do that. And then they control and they do the monitoring and the activities with those easements. And then on NRCS just helps with some of the background stuff. It's a match program. We don't pay 100% of the purchase of that easement right. The entity does. It's a program that's designed to keep land in working agriculture lands to help from conversions from some other source, basically in a nutshell. WRE, very, very similar to the old WRP, the Wetland Reserve Program, where we NRCS becomes landowners along with the person that still holds title to the land. We will help restore that land back to its historic wetland state. And then typically those are either a permanent easement or a 30-year easement on the land. And then of course the dollar amount changes of what we pay for the easement rights, whether it's 30 years or permanent. But it's a pretty popular program in Oklahoma. It's just it's a complicated program as well. Some of the highlighted changes, there was a lot of changes actually to the agriculture land easement program. But bottom line is they kind of clarified and defined some of the definitions a little better when it comes to beginning farmers and ranchers. Makes it a little easier for farm and ranch succession planning, and then also clarifies some things when it comes to who provides the maintenance and other things like that. The other thing that is now in there is that we are required to provide for ranking criteria whenever for WRE and ALE when we do the CRP transition incentive programs. That's the program that is designed to any of the CRP lands that are being transitioned over to beginning farmer or rancher, that they are eligible for that incentive. So we would give them also, it's another way to help encourage and help our beginning farmers and ranchers in the world of farming and ranching. So that is a really down and dirty covering of those three Farmville rules. There are other Farmville rules that have been published, but those are the ones that had the biggest impact on our external customers, our farmers and ranchers. So those are the ones I wanted to cover with you today. And with that, Sarah, Larry,